Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the shop. I've got another chainsaw to introduce to the collection. This is number 14. They just keep growing more and more. My buddy found this in a barn and he gave it to me, so a free saw. Free saw is a good saw. This particular saw is a Lancaster model 40IL, and it claims that it is 4 horsepower. I don't know if it's going to pick it up. 4 horsepower. And it also claims that it is lightweight. But you know, for the age that it is and the power that it claims to put out, it is actually pretty lightweight. It does not run, so I don't know if it really feels like a 4 horsepower saw. It has some pretty nice stamped steel bucking spikes on it. I think the bar is 16-inch, and I guess it has a welded tip because it didn't rust. It's still steel, I would imagine. I don't really know why that tip doesn't rust. It's got a 3/8 pitch chain. It's pretty good condition tooth wear wise, but it is a little rusted up, so if this chain turns out to be too frozen solid, which it might be, I'll just throw it away and get another chain, because 3/8 pitch chain is pretty much the most common chain these days. It has a very high flow muffler. Get a little more light on it, maybe you can see the piston. Yep, you can see the piston down in there. I'll pull it over for you. You can see the piston move. So you can see it turns over. I haven't checked the compression or spark or anything on this saw. I just got it for free, so I haven't had any time to mess around with it. It has an interesting sort of, not really top handle, not really standard handle sort of configuration, kind of like the Mall GP chainsaws. And it has an interesting throttle trigger configuration where it's kind of stuck, but you can see how it moves. It moves up like that with the pivot over here rather than the pivot being up there. And also has a throttle lock over here. Gas and oil reservoir. The oiler button broke off, but it's weird. You can see the plunger, but see, I just pulled it out, and the threads on this nut here don't seem to go down deep enough to engage the threads that are down in that bore, so I don't really know if this is the correct oiler or what. And it's all seized up, so it doesn't really work anyway. It's all complete. It even has the cylinder cover, which a lot of these old saws are missing. Has a metal screen air cleaner. Probably a Tillotson carburetor. Interesting thing to note on this carburetor, see right there is one of the jet screws, and I haven't looked at this too closely, but as far as I know, that hole right next to it, that's where the other jet screw should be. But there's just a plug in there, so it might be partly fixed jet, which I find odd for this vintage of a saw. There's a data thing here. It reads, when ordering parts, always mention model number. Can't really read it, but it's a 40IL, type something 16, chain pitch 3/8, Lancaster Pump and Manufacturing Company, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. That's it. It'll probably be a while before I get this thing running, but it's a cool little saw. Probably gonna be pretty loud. And while I got you here, got an update on my McCulloch Super 44A. The oiler was stuck, so I took it apart, and in my previous videos you can see that the oiler plunger inside here was seized, so I made a new gasket and I put it all back together, and I believe it works pretty well. I don't have much oil in there, but let's see, it's working. And also I got some rubber, and I put some nice thick rubber shock absorbers on the handle mounts here and on the handle mounts down here, so it's not going to beat the handle up too badly, and it'll maybe absorb a little bit of vibration for me, but I don't expect it to do too much. It's just, I just want to stiffen up the handle. It's difficult to pull over, so I'm sure it's got excellent compression. I'm not even going to bother checking it. Actually, I did. It was about 150 psi. I checked the spark, very good spark. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take apart the carburetor and rebuild it. I don't know, it might run as it is now, but I'm going to rebuild the carburetor anyway because it's been sitting for a while and I got the kit, so I'm going to rebuild it. Because even if the saw runs, the carburetor can be kind of gummed up with some old oil and stuff. I've had running saws that had a gummed up carburetor and they ran better after cleaning them up a bit. Till it's an HL carburetor. One stupid thing about these old Mac saws that there was no throttle lock or choke lock, so you had to hold the throttle and choke with one hand and crank it over with the other hand, and I don't really know how they expected you to do that safely. But this saw should be running pretty soon, I think. So keep an eye out. I'll have more videos coming up. So thanks for watching. Come back for more. If you have any suggestions for videos that you want me to make, feel free to make that suggestion. I would love to make more videos if you have some particular question. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and come back soon for more.